Okay, so I'm back today to talk about um, an issue I think I've seen a lot in the last few days. A lot of people go into a gym and think that they've got to do certain exercises a certain way. In other words, I want to get big, therefore, if I don't do these exercises that everyone says I need to do, even you, bro, science mo, it's telling me I got to do benching, I got to do squats, I got to do deadlifts if I want to get big because that's the only way to produce more testosterone in that burst of time that you're in the gym so that you will gain when you're working out. And I can understand that. And that's why I decided to do this video because I'm the one who pushes that the most that you should do the heavy compound exercises if you want to gain muscle, if you want to gain size. But as a result of me saying that, I felt the need to do this video, right? Simply because it's not a one size fits all thing. Not because you have to do compound exercises means you have to do certain exercises. Over time, if you're my age, or even younger, starting from about your 30s, you start carrying a bunch of injuries in your body, right? Over from the time you're a teenager, falling off a bike, falling off steps, falling off a ladder, playing football, and someone smacks you in the shoulder. Your shoulder's dislocated. I think that's what happened to me. That's why I understand these issues. I've got several issues that prevent me from doing certain exercises. So I'll get right into it. The gist of what I'm talking about today is you don't have to use only certain types of exercises. Learn how to use different exercises to get the same results. Learn how to substitute, right? Certain exercises are bad for certain people. For me, several exercises I simply cannot do, and I substitute others that I believe that are right for me, right? Because I get benefit from them. If I was to do it the conventional, the regular way, I would just get more and more hurt, and I would get nowhere. Number one, benching. If you want to get a big chest, if you want to get big and broad and wide around this area here, if you want to carry that, you know, that jacked look that every guy wants, because from up here, right, from here around the shoulders, around the arms to around here is where all a man's strength is. And historically, science tells us this, that that's where the most amount of testosterone accumulates. It is how you are. It is the telltale sign of someone using testosterone or steroids, right? It's this area here and around the traps. All of a sudden, a guy's like this in 2 weeks, and he was never like that, right? It's huge around this area, especially up here, and you can always tell by the neck, right? Simply because this is where most of a man's testosterone accumulates. So a guy that's big around this area here, it is the definition of a manly V shape, right? The taper starts big at the top and it comes down around the waist, right? So something about us as a species wants men to be big around the top, right? Because that's where the strength really lies. To be able to hold something down, to really wrestle something, hold it tight, and then take it to the ground. This is where that strength is needed, right? So if you want big strength up here, there are three exercises you got to do to get big strength up there. For the front, for the pushing muscles, you got to do benching, right? The more weights you can do, the bigger you're going to build that area. And of course, the number one exercise to do for that is the barbell benching. but it's not right for everyone. My shoulder's been gone since I was in college. I think we were playing either football or frisbee, and I just ran smack into another guy, right? He came at me while I don't think I was even looking, got almost knocked frig out. From that day on, this shoulder was never right, and every time I lifted everything I did benching, it felt like it's not perfectly in the socket. So when I do benching, it pains me, it hurts, right? So I can't really do it. But what I've learned over time is to substitute other exercises. There's a better exercise for, in my opinion, for chest than a flat bench, and that is a push down. There's a machine that you can go and sit on and you push it down, right? The act of pushing down, right, contracts the entire chest. And if you really look at how the kinesiology of that muscle works, pushing down is actually better for the chest. It contracts better than pushing this way. There is really nothing we do to push it, but this way you get maximum pressure when you push down, right? So it was really meant to go this way. So when I do that machine, right, and you can do dips. Dips are the same thing. Dips are considered better than bench pressing, right? And you can go heavy, and you can add that belt with the weights on. You can go as heavy as you want, right? That will give you the same result as benching. So you don't have to, if you can't bench properly, you don't have a partner, don't bench heavy, because you don't want that thing falling on you or getting stuck in the middle of a rep and you have nowhere to go, right? It's embarrassing. Plus, you could get hurt, right? If you don't have a partner, use a machine or do the dips, like I said, the press downs, right? Number two, I have a problem with my lower back. Years and years and years ago, I never worked that area, and one day I do some bent over rows, do them too strong, do them too fast, do them too hard, whatever it was, bang, I started seeing black. So from there on, no matter how much I tried, it would be better most of the time. Then all of a sudden one day I would tweak it somewhere or another and it would hurt, right? Then I'm out of commission for a while. So I learned over time there are certain exercises you don't want to do that will hurt the back, right? Regular straight bar deadlifts is hard for me because I have a tight back, lower back. I have tight hips, right? So I do not get down all the way down there. So plus I think the way I'm built too, right? It does not allow me to do much with the regular straight bar when it comes to deadlifting. Plus a lot of people get hurt if you don't have someone coaching you through the right ways. That is an exercise that is absolutely crucial to get the form right before you try lifting weights heavy, right? You got to get it right, and someone has to teach you that. It's not self-evident, even though you think it is. It's just picking something up off the ground. Absolutely not. There is just a million little ways around that exercise that you have to do to get it right before you get that right. Right? If you don't have someone teaching you that in the gym, don't do a straight bar, do a trap bar, right? And I'll put a picture of what a trap bar is. But that's the better way to go. That's how I do my deadlifts. And that's how I've been doing my deadlifts now for, 5-6 years. Simply because it's easier for me, right? The way I'm built. Plus, I am able to really load it up and do some heavy weights, and you feel the carryover. That's what athletes do. That's the exercise. The trap bar deadlift is what athletes do, because you can get more explosive power out of that, and it carries over into a sport in the way you have to lift that weight. It's as, think of football, think of basketball. It's a jumping motion, right? And you're carrying that weight. So all you're doing is doing an explosive movement that will carry over to sport. So the trap bar deadlift is a better way to go. There's no way that a conventional deadlift carries over into a real sport anywhere, right? So it's good for strength. It's good for those guys who can do that. But for those of us who aren't, a trap bar deadlift is good, or even better. It's really good on your lower back, right? Because it makes you use your thighs a lot more rather than a conventional deadlift. It's more hip centric, and if your hips are bad, if your hips are tight, you're gonna have pain. So that's the second one. The third one is squats, but it's kind of the same thing. I use a leg press machine to do the squats. Same problem. I don't like to feel the pain on my knees, right? Because of my bad back, I think I kind of move forward a little bit too much or move back a little bit too much. And whatever I do, it feels, I feel the pain in my knees. So what I do is I do the leg press machine, where you sit on the machine and you push the weight away, right? And that one allows you to use as much weight as you want, and it really targets the quads, right? And the last exercise that I push on everyone, and yet I won't do it in strict form, is the which one was that? Right, so that's it. It's those two. Actually, it's those three, right? The benching, the deadlifts, and the squat machine. Just three big ones, right? That I push everyone to do, and yet I have trouble doing. I have found alternate exercises that get you pretty much the same result, right? So that's what you got to remember. It's nothing in the gym in this world is a one size fits all. You've kind of got to have it go the way you want to, right? That's good for you, that's best for you. And it's got to feel right, right? If it's something you keep doing and it's just not feeling right, a month later and it's still not feeling right, you're just uncomfortable with it, but you can do another exercise and you're able to just load it up and do it heavy and do it right, and you feel great about it. You feel like you're progressing every time you do it. Stick with it, right? That's how it works. It's kind of, you gotta have to feel your way around. So that's why I wanted to do this video. Even though I'm telling people, I say, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. I also have to now come in and say, listen, it's still up to you how to do that. And there are alternative ways. There's no one size fits all at all, right? There's the exercises you have to do, but there are different ways of doing them. That's right for each person, right? So that's my thing for today. Alternate exercises. It's not a one size fits all, but you still got to lift heavy, and that's what I'm stressing, right? Lift heavy, but do the exercises right for you, right? So you don't hurt yourself, and you don't keep tweaking muscles. And everyone is hurt at some point in time going into their life. By the time you're 50, 60, half your body is hurt, right? But you got to find ways around that. You still want to work those muscles. You want to keep, your body producing high levels of testosterone and growth hormone, make you tired so you sleep well, so you're getting your body fully rested. You're pushing it, you're pushing it every day. You're giving it stress, right? You're not sitting comfortably and quietly in an old folks' home, right? You want to push your body all the time. So that's how you keep in the game, right? Even if you're hurt, you switch exercises, right? That's it for me. Please, give me a like, give me a subscribe on my YouTube channel, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bro Science.